So, what you want to talk about?
I have no idea. So much has gone on in the world since the last time we did a podcast. You know, we went to the Dominican Republic.
We did go to the Dominican Republic.
So, what do you think about that?
What did I think about that? You sound so excited. So what I thought about that was, do you remember when we were first supposed to go to Florida? And
Yeah.
we booked it in December. And we were like, yeah, we're going to Florida. And I had so many issues booking this hotel room under my discounted rate. And they kept canceling it, rebooking it, and then canceling it. And it was just a mess already,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And then, basically, long story short, we were like a week out from going to the Dominican, and I was up late and I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw like this beautiful resort that I wanted to go to, and I was like, let's go here. Like in my mind, I was like, let's go here, let's go here. So basically the next morning I woke Nate up and I was like, I want to go here. And pretty much it was like the same exact price like to go to Florida, because we were going to rent a car, having to pay for food, gas and all that. Like it just ended up being so much better, I think, and more relaxing that we decided to go on an all-inclusive resort to the Dominican Republic, and it was awesome. We stayed at the Palladium Spa and Resorts, and apparently there's like 4 or 5, make sure I'm saying this right, 4 or 5 resorts.
There's 4 resorts in one.
Mm-hmm.
3 we had access to, and 1 was a upgrade, but we didn't have access to.
Yeah, that didn't matter that much. Like, so the reason I wanted to go is because of this adult. It was like adult only swim up where you could like stay, and the bartender would like bring you stuff at your pool. It just looked like a concierge. Yeah, it just looked so nice. But then when we were looking at pricing, it was $1,000 more to stay in that area. So we were like, well, we don't need that. Like, kids don't bother us. Like, we didn't want to pay an extra $1,000 to have like more privacy or whatever. So we ended up just going with the standard package, and it was just as good. I mean, we had a little bit of issues. With the room, but like they fixed them within the day or two, and we were there for 8 days. So
we're used to that Caribbean lifestyle though, where you know you don't have hot water and AC doesn't really work very well. And
that actually never really got fixed, I don't think, the AC, but like we were fine.
But it's 72 at night, so
yeah, we're not there during the day really. We were just there to shower and go to dinner. So I was thankful that they fixed the shower, but like I said, like Nate said, we were used to that already. Like we lived in Antigua for 3 months without any hot water, so
or air conditioning.
So we were used to that. It was really nice. I totally recommend going if you're into that. It was just really relaxing. I'm trying to think of like, it was all, I would say positive. Like if you're going to go to, I totally recommend like meeting with the lady who sits at the desk. Like she'll make reservations for you to go eat instead of eating at the buffet every night, because the buffet like really got old in my opinion. Yeah, very fast. Like the food wasn't like super hot, but like when you went to eat, it was like a little bit better. And then you were waited on and stuff like that too. So, I drank a lot of mojitos. They drank a lot of soda. And let's think. Hold on a second. Funny story, and you can kind of tell it a little bit better, because I'll just tell it like me. But the first day they try to get you to like do a tour of the property, like, but they want to sell you something. Yeah. They want to sell you like this package. So go ahead, Nate, tell them about that. How excited I was to do that.
Yeah, so Meredith's like, we gotta go do this. Mm-hmm. We have to go see this presentation. I'm like, okay, they're gonna feed me, so maybe I'll be all right. You know.
They took you to the nice buffet.
They took us to a very nice buffet that had very nice steak on it, and
compared to the other ones.
And it was very good.
But this presentation is only supposed to be like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's only supposed to be an hour and a half presentation. Ends up being 4 hours. Mm-hmm. You know.
The guy who was giving us the presentation was so nice, and he reminded me of my friend from back home. Mm-hmm. His name was Yaz Melvin. I still remember him because if he calls me or emails me, which he didn't, to come hang out here in North Carolina, then I would let him because I thought he was super nice. But they offered us like a really good deal, didn't they? It just like you just keep saying no until you get them down as low as you can. So that's pretty much Nate's job. I was like, yeah, I'm already in sales, so but I'm not like a salesperson. Yeah. I feel like
you get sold very easily.
I get sold so easily, and I'll be like, yeah, let's do it. Like, yeah, that's such a great deal. And you know you're helping the person who's selling to you too, because that's what happens when you make a sale, you know? But anyways, go ahead. It didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, the package was definitely too expensive, but, you know,
But if we had a family and stuff like that, like extended family, like down the line, it might have been a little bit different, I think. We probably could have done it.
Let's say, I think if you didn't work for hotels and get huge discounts on traveling, like...
Yeah, that too.
We probably would have signed up, but at the same time, you know, we had already had problems with the room.
Yeah, we signed up to do that little tour and that presentation. They wanted us to do it that day. Mm-hmm. Like we got in at like 2 on Saturday, and they wanted us to go like that day. And I could see why, because they want to sell you
before something wrong
happens. But we didn't go till like the next day or 2 days later or something like that. And that's true. We had already had issues with our room. But you know, we kind of talked about it. We were going back and forth, and like we got a hella good deal on this. Mm-hmm. So like the Dominican Republic definitely had just opened back up to like tourists, and you didn't have to go through so many hoops to get there and travel there, and they set up your COVID test for you, and you know what I'm saying? Like they provided all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that they were just offering all these deals to get people to come back. So we got a really good deal on it. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, and
just talking about how the experience getting there and getting back.
Oh yeah.
You know,
super
airlines
easy.
are definitely a lot different.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, than they were pre-COVID. Mm-hmm. You know, you had to have the mask on the whole time. Mm-hmm. You know, by federal law somehow. I don't know how that works, but
also
I
with
guess they control aviation federally.
But with the airlines, also, I felt like I've flown before, and I've never seen them overbook the flights like they were doing. Like each flight that we had technically was overbooked. And you want to tell them about that?
Yeah. So our entire flight package for me and Meredith to go to Dominican Republic and back from North Carolina was $1,400.
Well, no, that's with the hotel and everything.
No, it's $1,400 just for the.
Okay, so $700 each. Yeah. Okay,
yeah, $700 each for round trip tickets to the Dominican Republic. So on the way back, there's 2 flights into Charlotte, North Carolina, coming from the Dominican Republic. One's at 3 and one's at 5. Well, the one at 3 is booked, overbooked, and they offer us $2,000 to take the next flight at 5.
Actually, it was $2,100.
Yeah, $2,100.
Get your facts.
So we literally, they're travel vouchers, so we have to travel somewhere else, which is fine because we like to travel anyway.
Correct. We just have to figure out where we're going next.
But literally, we made, like, I don't understand how the airlines are making money.
Right.
If they're paying me, if I'm only paying $1,400 for a round trip, and they're paying me $2,100 to change flights, like.
It was wild.
And then the second flight was also overbooked, and they also offered another $750 to go to wait till the next day, and they were going to give us a hotel. Mm-hmm. We decided not to do that because I had to get back to work, but
we probably could have done that, but we were like, there's no way we could get this. I wouldn't say lucky, but like we saw another couple that did that the day before, and they kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed, and this was like their third day being there at the airport, like showing up and then not having a flight. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, no, like I don't want to push it. We thought about it though. If Nate wasn't in the bathroom, we probably would have had this like really long discussion about it and then probably did it. But it was just like, it wasn't worth us.
But I think if they had offered us that like at 1:00 instead of at 5:00, like we might have said yes because we would have had 3 or 4 more hours in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, that's what was weird is that like the night before they gave us an option when we were like checking in online. They were like, how much would it cost for us to bump you to the next flight since our flight is oversold? And it's on the app, and then we hit the most expensive one. Yep. I guess no one else did that. So we were offered it, but like it would have been nice to not show up to the airport until the flight. Like if they were going to move us anyways, we could have enjoyed the Dominican Republic a couple more hours longer. Yeah. You know, and then just showed up for our 5:00 instead of being there, you know, at 1:00 for our 3:00 or something like that. Or 12 o'clock for our 3:00. But either way, we were going to have to sit in Raleigh or sit in the Charlotte airport for 5 or 6 hours anyway. So it was like, why not sit in the Dominican Republic airport
for another 2 hours?
For another 2 or 3 hours, beforehand. So I thought that was really cool. I was really excited about that. I feel like we just get, I wouldn't say lucky, but blessed, I guess. I don't know.
I'd say the whole trip itself was already at a 45% discount.
Yeah.
You know, and then on top of it to get travel vouchers. Mm-hmm. You know, so overall it was a great trip for me.
Yeah, it was relaxing. We didn't do any sports.
We really went down there to, you know, disengage from everything. Of course, we took photos and stuff like that for the business. You know, but. You know, other than that, it was pretty much just to relax.
And we did.
And disconnect, so.
I fell asleep multiple times, just laying outside, knocked out, passed out. I will say the only negative thing, and I wouldn't hold this against the resort, but like we had like a ton of people come up to us while we were on the beach, like trying to sell us stuff. And I respect it, and I respect the hustle, and I understand like the Dominican. We like talked about this too, like, I'm sure they did that before, but just maybe not as hard before because of, you know, again, like their economy is struggling because tourism was, you know,
disrupted for so long.
Exactly. So what I did, and I mean, I kind of recommend this because they kind of left me alone a little bit, but I brought $50 and that was it. And the first person who I felt like gave me a good story, like told me the history of whatever he was trying to sell me. Like I said, look, all I got is, he tried to get like $100 and something, then he discounted to $60, and I said, look, I got $50. So I bought like 2 bracelets.
And he lets you walk away with it too, without paying.
Yeah.
And bring the money back later.
Yeah, because I didn't have the money.
That was what was wild to me. That would definitely not fly in North America.
No.
That would definitely not fly in the United States.
Because I didn't have the money on me. Yeah, he let me walk back. He gave me like a Virgin Mary bracelet. And I got like a little elephant. Like a glass elephant. Was it glass? And this has the Dominican Republic on it. Like wrote on there. So like I know that I got it there. And it's like a little souvenir. So every time someone else came up to me, I'm like, sorry, I spent my money. Sorry, I spent my money. One guy said he had Venmo and Cash App. And I was like... You would, but nobody else on this island but you did. But he was hustling, so had to respect it. That's the only negative I think Like, I felt like I had to pretend to be asleep, but they still were like, hello, miss. whatever they were doing. But, yeah, it was nice.
But overall, it was a really good trip.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was.
Definitely don't be afraid to travel. You know, go have a good time. And
we were just a tad worried, though. A little bit. Because you have to
the only
have
thing you're really scared about is whether your COVID test at the end of the week is going to be good. Right?
Yeah.
Because if it's not, then you're stuck there.
But we both were like, you know what? If we're stuck here, like, look, I can work from anywhere. So if I need to work under this little hut in the Dominican Republic, work under this little hut.
Yeah. And
then Nate has plenty of vacation, so it was like, but we were still like in the back of our mind a little bit concerned about that. But we both passed. But you think about it, like you're walking in and these buffets have like hundreds of people in them at a time. From all over the world. Yeah. And they're all touching everything and we're touching everything. And like, so you get a little worried, but we were fine. We passed. I'd never been like so worried about not passing something before, but yeah, we were good. Totally recommend going. Yeah. We would go back again, I think.
Yep.
After we explore the other places we want to go to, but we would go back again. You guys should totally check it out.
So when we came back, of course, Batman comes out.
Yes.
So what'd you think of the Batman?
What did you think? That's your like childhood.
So this
cartoon.
To me, this is the Batman movie that anyone who reads Batman comics was waiting for, because it's based on, you know, the Long Halloween, you know, and it's also like Batman the Detective. Just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it, but you know, it's really the Batman that everybody was waiting for. It's that dark, hard Batman that's also a detective, that's against a villain that's very intelligent, you know.
Insert something.
With multiple layers, and it's got like some new twists to it, so like most of the stuff doesn't go into what Bruce Wayne's parents were doing. You know, this one did that, so that's also like adding layers to story that hadn't been told before. You know,
I was a little nervous about Robert Pattinson
being Batman.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that. I don't know why I was worried about that. I don't know. Like he's a great actor. I was worried about it, but then like once he got on the screen, and then once you saw, he didn't even have to speak. Like once you saw that like chiseled face that he has, he definitely matched that cartoon
Batman.
Like the cartoon Batman, perfect. Like definitely, his voice and everything, his whole look. I think he got really shredded for this movie too. Like his back was like, you know, like I don't know how.
So there was a rumor that he wouldn't do steroids to get in shape for it. So he was definitely an undersized Batman.
Well, good for him for saying
when he was shirtless, but with a suit makes up for that. You know what I mean? So
I thought his back looked really good.
You put the Batman suit on like you're bigger than you really are in person. You know?
Yeah.
But he was definitely lean, but he definitely like
wasn't as bulky. You think?
Yeah, like obviously people that take steroids are going to be bulkier and leaner.
Yeah, right? Good for him.
But he chose not to do that, so props to him for staying natural.
For sure. And standing up for what he believes in. If he didn't want to do it, then he found a way to look the part without doing it. So power to him on that. You did say the riddles were kind of like easy.
Yeah, I definitely think that,
but it was a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
So it was like,
it's like
these riddles had to be solved quickly.
The riddles were definitely, a little elementary school level-ish, I think.
Yeah.
But even at that, you know, the Batman missed the last clue. So
yeah, spoiler.
You know, so
the workers at the movie theater were like, people did not want to buy drinks because they did not want to have to pee in the middle of the movie.
Oh yeah,
he told it. Yeah, he was like, he's like, yeah, a lot of people didn't buy drinks. They like purposely told us that they didn't want to have to get up and go to the bathroom during the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, we got a drink. We are AMC stud members.
I always have to get up. It doesn't matter.
We are AMC stud members. We will see this movie again if we need to. If we miss a scene, we'll see it again. Especially if there's no movies coming out, we had to watch the same one again.
Right. But yeah, this Batman definitely. I give it a 10 out of 10 for sure.
Catwoman was good. The Catwoman.
Yeah. What's her name?
Isn't it Kravitz?
Yeah. Kravitz.
Is it though?
Yeah, it's Kravitz. That's her last name.
I forgot her first name though. It's not Zoe.
But she killed it. I don't know.
Dang.
It's Kravitz.
Dang.
But she
forgot her name. She's gorgeous and she did a great job.
Yeah, she did. To me, she did a great job as the Catwoman. I liked her understory as Catwoman. It was kind of different, you know. They put a twist on her origin story.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, and I felt like that was a better origin story for. It made more sense to me than, you know, just showing up and being obsessed with cats. So, you know, kind of made it like real world.
Yeah.
To me, this Batman didn't really have the flashy Bruce Wayne yet, right? It's basically only like 2 years into being the Batman.
He had more of the vengeance side.
You know, so...
rebuilding and all whatnot. It was good. Yeah. It was good.
I feel like the movie was a 10 out of 10. What did you think of the special effects?
I mean, I thought it was good. There was like one scene, we had talked about this before, where it was with Catwoman and she was like leaving and they made that look weird.
She looked kind of plasticky, or what?
Yeah, it's not plasticky. It would look more like a video game.
Okay.
Like a Sims game. I can't remember which part, but I wasn't the only one that noticed that. They're the guys behind us that were there.
People behind us pointed it out. Or I didn't notice it at all, to be honest.
I noticed it. But that was the only thing. Like, everything else was great. The visual effects were great. The villains were great.
Did you have any idea that Colin Farrell was the Penguin?
Oh, heck no. I had to look up the cast because I was like, he looks familiar. Not even the Penguin, it was the Joker that looked familiar from somewhere. So I was trying to look up the cast name and I was like, hold up. Not the Joker. The Riddler.
Yeah.
So, sorry, the Riddler. So I was like, no, that was the Joker. I was trying to, no, not the Joker. Two-Face.
Yeah.
I thought he had came, that's a spoiler, but he had came in, I was like, well, who is this? Because he looks familiar. And...
see, I couldn't really tell if it was the Joker or if it was Two-Face.
Yeah, we still don't know. They haven't told us.
It looked more like it was Two-Face to me, but everybody online is saying it's the Joker, so...
oh,
and then that's like a question, like, well, how did he get there? Did Batman already put the Joker away? Like, what's going on? Like, but
they definitely left it open for another one, but... yeah, Colin Farrell, we can get that rid of that too if you want to. Okay, Colin Farrell did not look like Penguin. I had no idea. But then when I went back and like remembered what his voice sounded like, I was like, dang, that is Colin Farrell. That was crazy. Like, total props to Colin Farrell on that one. Because he did a great job. Had no idea. It was you.
It was great.
Yeah. Super great. I thought it was cute that the AMC people tried to sell us a little Batman bucket. It's like something that you could put your popcorn in.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is cute, but we got too much junk already. I don't need this around the house, but...
yeah, I like when DC does like a little comic giveaway.
Oh, that would have been cute. They didn't do that.
But...
they were trying to entice the younger crowd to Maybe like Batman, I don't know. By giving them a little Batman hat for their
But yeah,
popcorn.
last point on the Batman. This movie was basically like, if a billionaire had a bunch of money, what would the Batman look like, right? So he'd be making a supercar, right, out of an old junk car, right? Put a jet engine, you know, on an old muscle car.
Mm-hmm.
So the Batmobile was an old muscle car. I like that. Like, it was very grungy. The sound effects going in, like you could hear him walk. Dun-dun, dun-dun. I can't do the. It's almost like a western, like, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? We got the spurs on or whatever, and it's clacking. Like, that's how, like, his walk was almost like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we've seen several TikToks where somebody's walking up like the Batman that's clinking
And clanking.
Clanking or whatever.
Clinking and clanking. I don't know.
You
Yeah.
know, so the effects like that, you know, and several times in the movie definitely had the chills, you know, from the sound effects and stuff. So
The visual effects.
and the visuals.
Yeah, it was good. They did a good job.
So like I said, 10 out of 10 for me.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I would say the same.
You're like 10 out of 10. Okay.
I would say the same. Even though I don't have like the background, like I didn't grow up like reading the comics or like watching the cartoons as much. I've seen the cartoons before though, but I didn't grow up as like already a fan. So
I definitely feel like, I don't know if they pushed it back or not, but I definitely feel like it was supposed to come out like Halloween.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know,
They
because
pushed
of
a lot of
Halloween,
movies
but-
back. They've pushed a lot of movies back, changed dates, or put them straight to streaming instead. Just like Turning Red, we watched
Now,
that.
speaking of straight to streaming,
Yeah, because that was supposed to come out in the movie theater. Like we
Disney's
saw.
Turning Red.
Mm-hmm.
They decided to stream it straight on Disney. They didn't even charge for it on Disney, which is crazy because usually, or they had been,
Yeah, with
at least
Mulan
asking like
and-
$9.99 or something. You know,
Shoot, no, Lion King was like $29.95. Just
on Disney Plus,
like,
but they didn't charge for it.
mm-mm. So thanks, Lindsay, for letting us use your account to watch that yesterday.
But little did we know before we watched it that there was controversy with it.
I had no idea. Like we watched it. Then I went on the Facebook. I went on Facebook. I went on Meta. That
was in the
sounds so
metaverse.
stupid. I was on Facebook. And like one of my friends had posted something, so I like started researching it a little bit more, and it was like controversy over, like they said it was like a non-Christian movie, and I'm like, for one, when has Disney ever like pushed Christian values in their movies? Like, let's really think about that. Like they have, yeah, they've always had subliminal messages. They've always had like
Innuendos for adults.
Exactly. Like that Turning Red was meant for people, like I did the math. It's based in 2002.
Yep.
She was coming of age, so she was 13.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I mean, what does that mean?
And
She
you
was
even
born.
had the time stuff, like what's that little thing called?
They had like the Tamagotchis, the boy band.
Yeah,
like
so you had basically this boy band was literally like NSYNC.
Yeah, it was.
Me, like,
or Backstreet Boys, one of them.
You know.
But so the girl was born in 1989. That's when I was born. This movie was for 33-year-olds. Like turning 33.
Yeah, legit.
Around that age, 30 to 33. Because, and yes, it was a cartoon, but like, we talked about, I was like, I would let our kids watch this if we had kids. Like, adults make such a big deal about it. Like, these people are making such a big deal about it online, and their kids have no idea what any of the things that they were referring to. Like, it was based off, weren't they Chinese? Or Asian or something?
Chinese.
So they had like a different religion.
It's Chinese culture. They have a different religion. They
have different.
They pray to their ancestors, right? And their ancestor happened to be over red pandas.
So they had done this ritual or something that created controversy with everybody saying it was satanic and witchcraft, and it was like, well, maybe you should research like the religions of different people around the world and see if that, matches up. And then also they like kind of referred to her getting her period, and I'm just like, don't.
Well, they didn't refer to it. It was a full blown scene. Like
yeah.
The mom blew her up at school, like
saying she needed a pad.
Really the whole theme of the movie is really just about what's that called? Generational problems with mothers.
Yes.
Against their daughters. Or overbearing is what the word I was trying to think. Overbearing mothers against their daughters. You know, the grandma had done it to the mom, and the mom did it to the child.
Yeah, it's like a generational trauma, basically.
Yeah, generational trauma. And
like how to overcome that, and how you just want to please your parents, and then you lose track as a parent of how your kid really is or something. Like you don't even know who your kid is because they're trying to please you.
To be someone else in front of you and being someone else at school or so when really the lines of communication need to be opened at that age so that you can really understand, you know, what they're actually going through and be there for them, because by then you've already given your values to them.
Right.
You're really just there to guide them with what happens to them, you know, at that point. But I can see where, you know, this movie is rated PG. I could see where they probably should have made it PG-13 so that parents would know, like, your 5-year-old probably doesn't need to watch this.
You might feel uncomfortable.
You might feel uncomfortable about some things, you know, the rebellion part or whatever.
But see, this is where I think it's different. Like,
but my parents were completely different. Like, I was watching Pretty Woman, Dirty Dancing, Backdraft, Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Like, when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, like, no problem. Because at that age, you really don't know what's really going on and what they're really referencing. All I knew about Pretty Woman is that Richard Gere came and made Julia Roberts beautiful. That's all I knew. Had no idea about anything else.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I think the same thing would go on with this movie. And it's a cartoon movie or animated movie.
But, you know, the differences between your mom and everybody else is that if you would have asked, like, what things were, like, if you... Because if I sat down with my mom and I had questions, or my parents, I would ask specifically, like, what is this? I feel like I'm very inquisitive, so that's where parents, I feel like, are kind of awkward about it, because they don't know how to...
In Pretty Woman, she comes out with condoms, and they have different color condoms. I'm sitting there thinking they're suckers.
Right, so you don't ask.
My mom's like, absolutely, they're suckers.
I feel like your mom would told you the truth. But yeah, you're 5, so like you're not going to even know what that means, because you don't even know what the act means at 5.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But also I feel like as a girl, even if I was 5, 6, 7, 8, I would already have known what a period is. Like my niece has already known what a period is.
For a long time.
4 or 5
years old.
Right, because she's going to have to go through that.
One, right?
Well, yeah, but my sister has it. Like, we all have it. We all live in a house full of women.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's never going to see what a pad or a tampon is. Ever. So it's like, also, she's got to know that's what she's going to be going through one day, too. Like, you're preparing her. It's not just going to be like, surprise, one day you're a woman. Okay, like you introduced the small steps leading up to it, to the big event, I guess. So, I don't know.
But I really think there is a problem in the genre of animation. Like, all these movies coming out, none of them are rated G. Right? None of them are really made for children anymore. Like, they're really made for the parents.
They really are, yeah.
You know, all of them have
entertaining us.
All of them have some kind of political innuendo. All of them have some kind of sexual innuendo.
But it's always been like that.
Yeah,
just like Lion King. Lion King had the word sex in the sky.
Right.
We were watching that at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, 9.
I mean, is that even necessary?
It's not necessary, but to say that they've never done that until recently is you're fooling yourself. You're in denial. You're always going to have something. Same thing with the Little Mermaid, with the priest. Like, his whole thing goes up while he's marrying them. Like, those are sexual innuendos, and they've always been there. It's just people bringing attention to it. Like, when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, I didn't see that. I had no idea. I'm not looking at the sky during Lion King and seeing that it spelled that. Like, someone literally went through and, like, dissected these movies to find that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I guess in that scene, it's a little more, with the red panda, that was a little more, there was no innuendos. It was, like, straightforward and, like...
But to someone that doesn't have any understanding of other cultures... You know, I can see where...
You mean they're sheltered?
Yeah, they're sheltered. They have no idea about the Chinese culture or Japanese culture or Indian culture. Or...
I think that would have been a perfect time to educate themselves instead of going on Facebook and saying it's unchristian. Their religion is not...
It's a different religion.
It's a different religion.
Yeah.
Like, but also, like you said... If parents really had a problem with what their kids are watching, maybe they should preview it first. They should
I definitely think anything that's not G should definitely be previewed by the parent first.
Yeah, and then you show your kids.
You know,
instead of it being like, surprise. Oh, after the movie we got to talk about periods because now this came up and you have a question about it.
Yep.
Instead of it being like, oh, I'm not ready to have that discussion yet. Like, let's wait a couple years before we show you this. Or...
Yep.
Whatever. So, anyways, long story short...
I understand, you know, we're in a time where it's a 2-parent household, like, both parents are having to work, you know, that type thing, and people don't have time, and, you know, I definitely understand that, but, you know, it's still your responsibility or to protect your children, so...
However you feel like you need to do that. So, like I said, I would have had no problem watching that with my kid. That was very good.
You would have loved it because they would ask you questions and you would have had attention. You would have loved it.
Oh my God. Be quiet. Then after that movie, Nate had never seen The Kid before with Bruce Willis.
Yep.
And I forgot the little boy's name, but he's like, I think he's a Disney star after that. He ended up doing Disney channel stuff. What'd you think of that? Because that was super cute, right?
So I can definitely see where... I can see the difference level in acting when I go back and watch a movie like that. We also watched Galactica before that.
Yeah, that's the new Ryan Reynolds movie.
No, Galactica was the 1997 movie that I watched before that.
Oh, we watched the Ryan Reynolds movie too.
Yeah, and we watched the Ryan Reynolds movie.
What was that one called?
Adam
Project.
Yeah, the Adam Project. But literally you could see like the difference in the level of acting. Like Bruce Willis's acting in The Kid is
phenomenal,
head and shoulders above anything I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that movie was from 2000.
Like there's actually like legit.
You feel for the character. You actually care about the character.
They actually make you care and have feelings for the characters and how they're feeling and what traumas they had as children. You could see, I mean, this movie's been out for a long time, but you could see where the dad was scared that the mom was dying and he took that out on the child, and that made their relationship strained for his whole life. And the whole reason he was doing stuff the way he was doing it was because of that strain. And you could see that the reason the kid came back was to fix that.
Right.
You know,
or to help him understand it.
But they did that. They did that with acting and with, you know,
passion, feeling, character
monologue.
development.
They did it with character monologue. Right.
Well, the only reason we watched The Kid was because we watched The Adam Project, and there's this scene. Yeah, I was like, this is the kid, like, but futuristic, but there was this scene, it's almost the exact same scene, very, very, very similar, like 80%. I was like, okay, so they just took this from The Kid. And then I was like, have you seen that movie? He was like, no. And I said, it's an old movie. He always rolls his eyes when I talk about it's an older movie because, I don't know. And he thinks that I don't pick out good movies, but whatever. Anyways, I was like, all right, well, so we watched, literally, we just chilled this weekend. So
because it was raining.
It was raining. It was bad weather. You know, obviously, and sometimes you just need to decompress. Anyways, long story short, I was like, okay, we're watching the kids since I want you to see that this movie is 10 times better than the Adam Project with the same type of theme, basically. And it was really good. Mm-hmm. And I forgot how good it was. Like, I was crying. Tears were rolling down my face. The Adam Project, no feelings. I had no feelings. I mean, it's not that saying it's a bad movie. It wasn't a bad movie. I just had no feelings for the characters at all. And I was a little perturbed. Is it perturbed? Dang, I don't know.
Perturbed?
Is it perturbed? I was a little perturbed about how they basically took that scene from the kid.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't seen any of those movies, you should check it out. I even thought that Galactica movie was good too, and that was from 1997. The acting in that was
great too. That's what I'm saying. Like
Uma Thurman was fine.
They didn't have the special effects at that time.
So they had to rely on their acting.
They relied on acting and monologue. Like they literally had to set the scenes. Mm-hmm. It wasn't done in post production. Like, you know, so. And it was interesting to see what in Galactica. It was interesting to see what they thought like. So a phone watch, what that would look like, compared to like the Apple Watch now.
Yeah, stuff like that. Their futuristic ideas or whatever. I thought that was kind of cool.
And it's interesting to know whether Steve Jobs and all that, they got it from...
movies.
Yeah, they got it from science fiction. They just made it into reality, which is really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
The last thing, so the NCAA brackets are out.
You talking about March Madness?
March Madness, baby. Let's go.
Are we going to do that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, let's do it. I think it'd be a good thing for the podcast.
All right, so I'm going to read to you who are the number ones. So Kansas, Arizona, Baylor.
Give us a bracket.
And Gonzaga. So Duke was left out of the number 4. Duke was left out. They're not a number 1 seed. They're a number 2 seed. Because they lost the ACC championship to Virginia Tech.
But didn't they lose to Chapel Hill first?
They lost to Carolina at the end of the season, but
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We still split the season, but
I'm kidding. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Because they lost to who? Arizona?
They lost to Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech. I'm sorry. Virginia Tech. Okay.
For the ACC championship. So I guess that brought them out. I don't really see how that really brought them out unless it was the Carolina loss and then the Virginia Tech loss.
Yeah.
You know, in combination that pulled them out. But anyway, who is going to win the NCAA championship this year? Who you got?
I don't know. Last year I think I picked Gonzaga to win. And they didn't make it that far.
Dang.
So not sure.
So choose.
What about you?
Choose who you don't like. So then the one you do will win.
Dang. Who are you gonna pick?
I got UNC all the way.
Oh, okay.
No doubt.
All right.
We're going deep runs. We got to play all 5 starters, but we got deep runs. We're ready.
All right. Well, let's do it.
We're gonna be tired as hell by the Sweet 16, but we got this.
We need to rate this podcast PG-13 now that you said that word.
Yeah, at least. I mean, this podcast is definitely PG-13. There's no doubt about that.
All right. Anyways.
But I got one last thing after that.
Okay.
So, would you buy this book if you heard this review? Our 6-year-old son and 2-year-old daughter love this book. It has a cheerful and playful story that captures the imagination of young readers. The rhyming lines not only help young readers strengthen their skills in identifying sound similarities, but it pairs well with the whimsical plot and illustrations. We'd highly recommend this book for families with youth readers It makes a wonderful bedtime story. Would you buy that book if you saw that review?
I'm still trying to figure out who wrote that review. But
I would love to know. If you were the one that wrote that review for London and the Googly Goo,
please let me know.
Available on Amazon. You know, comment down below and let us know. But that was what a
heck of a review.
What a great review. 5-star review.
It's beautiful.
You know,
I was like, dang, I kind of want to take this and like.
I want to frame it like legit. Like that's a good review.
Yeah, it's a very good review. Or like how I describe my book is literally that review. Like I was like, oh wow, that's really good. So if you did that review, thanks. I would definitely buy that book because it is my book. But yeah, for real, let us know who that is. I might post that on social media just to see if I get any feedback from it and see who did that, because that was a really good review. Thanks for sharing that, Pookie.
We saw that today. We're gonna start doing a little advertising for your book, so
hopefully before the second one comes out. Working on it, guys.
But I'm Nate.
I'm Meredith.
And this is the So What You Want to Talk About podcast.
So what you want to talk about?
Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, comment down below, and let us know what you think and what you want to talk about. Peace.
Bye.